Hello, my name is Dave Fisher. I'm a professor at Rolls-Holman, so we're a college in Terre Haute, Indiana. I'm a computer science professor here. I do a lot of different things. I do some work with robotics. I also do some things with outreach. And so I helped start a program here called Connecting with Code. So it's like a summer camp that we're working on trying to start up. I've done some other things like Hour of Code. So what I'm making this video for, it's for an application for Tynker. So they've got a question now. It's like, how do we make computer programming a standard practice in schools? They want to get people's opinions about it, have them posted to YouTube. So I guess my thoughts are, first, the question is making some assumptions. So it's making the assumption that it has to be in schools to be successful, and I think that's a fair assumption. But I wanted to kind of back up on that just a little bit, just because I'll say that, like, in the U.S., our schools are very bureaucratic. Their money comes from the government. There's a lot of bureaucracy that comes from the government, and I think that if you've currently got somebody in schools, waiting for schools to do it is going to be too late, right? So the first thing I wanted to say is, like, to parents. We've seen in the computer science field that there is a serious supply line problem of people that are in computer science and people that are going to be getting computer science degrees versus the number of jobs. It's a real deal already. And there are so many jobs in the computer science and programming area that aren't going to get met because we just don't have enough people to fill them. And so if your son or daughter is K through 8 or something like that, and you're hoping that schools are going to start teaching these things, and then your son or daughter will be ready for a career in computer science, it's going to be too late if you wait for the school. So there's how do you get in the schools, and then how do you fix your own problem. And I'd say that all of a sudden you've got a responsibility of a parent to try to teach your child things that are important. That feels overwhelming at first, but there's actually a lot of tools online to try to make your life easier. So Tynker is one, so they've got some great programs on Tynker. Code.org is another one. If you just spend some time on code.org site. But really what you need to do is you need to get your child started on some of their content, and then just trying to work it with them through some of the early things. And try to pitch it as like a game, something that they enjoy doing. If you're financially able, a tool like an iPad is great. There's a lot of learning games on iPad, like there's Lightbot or Box Island, or Tynker has their own app on iPad. And if you could get those things in your kids' hands, you're going to help prepare them for a future that is waiting for them, right? So I'd say that's kind of the first thing I'd like to say. So backed up on their question a little bit and kind of put the burden instead of on schools, but put the burden on parents, because you can make a difference today, whereas schools, it's going to take them 20 years, it seems like, with the way our school system works. How do we get it in schools? So the natural path, I think, is computer labs. So there's a lot of libraries in schools already. If those libraries could have some computers in them, then all of a sudden we have computer lab spaces. Some schools already have computer lab spaces, so that's a great first step. It takes money to get computer lab spaces. The next thing that you need to do with that computer lab space is make better use of it for terms of programming. So there's a lot of different things people can do in computers. And I think that what I would really recommend to schools is, again, everything costs money, but if you could get a person that is specifically in charge of that computer lab instead of just making teachers take their class there, but if you could have a person to where the teacher just drops them off there, they get a prep period to where they can do work. And then that teacher, I don't know if you call it a librarian or a technical specialist, actually learns a little bit about different programs like Code.org's things or Tynker's things, or these other online resources like, Made with Code for Girls is great. There's also CS First, which is a great thing. But if that teacher who's in charge of those computers could help get those kids, tied into some of those systems, Tynker is great. Then I really think that could help prepare them for the next step. So that's my advice. If you want to do it today, do it with parents. If you want to do it in schools, it's going to be through computer labs and technical experts that are in those computer labs and are making use of that computer lab space. All right, Dave Fisher, thanks for listening. Bye.